Welcome to Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio,
My name is Tyler.
and today is an episode unlike any other in Sideline Judgment history. Tyler,
Today's episode is a movie.
Tyler, the sports world broke.
Sports is hashtag canceled.
Sports is hashtag canceled. Obviously, I think
Not even joking.
no, not even joking. I think everyone at this point knows that the coronavirus COVID-19, which originated in Wuhan, China, back in December of 2019. Last decade. It has essentially spread across the world in the course of, we want to say, maybe 3 months and a couple weeks. This is a virus that we're not doctors. Let's go ahead and say that right now.
No.
All the stuff that we're going to talk about today is essentially just a reflection of the virus's effect on the world of sports. But we do want to just mention that this is a virus that there currently is no cure for, and seems to be, this is me going off of what I've read from the CDC, from the World Health Organization, it seems to be that people of any age can get the disease, but the most at-risk people are those in their 60 years of age and older, because of the way that their immune systems are, compared to someone of Tyler and I, who were both, I'm 23, you're 22, right? Or you're 23? I don't know how old you are, Tyler. It's that kind of week.
Sorry, my
You're good. You're good.
I apologize.
It's all right. No, but it definitely, those of us that are younger don't have as much to worry about in terms of this virus being lethal. But I do want to quote an Atlantic article that said that they estimate that 40 to 70% of the world's population will be contaminated by this virus. That does not mean that 40 to 70% of the world will perish. It's not true at all.
It's very different.
Very different things. And it's said that most people that will contract it will recover from it. But yeah, it's kind of set off a big storm. And Tyler, pick a sport. Where do you want to start? Because we can pick wherever.
Okay. Well, let's start. Let's see. Let's start from where it all kind of trickled out. Let's basketball.
Okay.
The big thing was that the NBA suspended their season. Like, the NBA said, "Hey, we're just gonna not play games for 30 days, and then we'll make a decision."
And this comes on the heels. And when I say on the heels, I literally mean about 10 minutes after. Finding out that Rudy Gobert tested positive, the center for the Utah Jazz tested positive for coronavirus, and it was essentially a thing of, well, who has he come in contact with? And at that point, the NBA said, we're not taking any chances. So this happened on Wednesday, March 11th, and today, at time of recording, Thursday, March 12th, it seems that other leagues have taken lead and followed suit.
Yeah, so we've got the MLB has suspended its season, the NHL has suspended its season. What is it? The NCAA has suspended. This is the big one. The NCAA has canceled the seasons for all winter and spring sports.
Correct.
Which is wild.
Which
includes the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not happening. Most conference tournaments are canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all at this point.
Yeah.
Like Florida State won the ACC crown because they had the best regular season record.
Right.
Which the ACC is famous for only crowning the tournament champion. They don't crown a regular season champion. There are regular season champions. They just don't let you hang a banner for it.
Exactly. No. The banners are hanging. It's the trophy case that doesn't have one.
Okay, yeah.
That's
the trophy cases.
Yeah.
They don't give out trophies for that. But now they do.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It just, in a matter of like 2 days, the entire sports world just went dark.
I think less than that. It was more like 20 hours.
Yeah, and like the XFL has canceled its season.
The XFL has canceled their season. Go ahead, Tyler.
Well, in fairness to them, in their statement, they said that they're still going to pay all of their players their base pay.
Thank God.
Good. They can't make any bonuses, but they're paying them out for the rest of the season. What they were supposed to make, and I was like, good for you.
Good.
They're planning to come back in 2021. I did joke on Twitter because the XFL was the last one. I was like, it was like, I bet somebody said like, I bet the XFL did not plan on a pandemic being being their biggest obstacle for finishing their 2020 season.
No, they
And
did not.
I tweeted, the NFL will truly do anything to be the only professional American football.
Oh my gosh.
Which the NFL is about the only, which I get.
Exactly.
I'm about to say, but like, the NFL is probably the only sport or major like league that hasn't like suspended operations. Mm-hmm. That being said, they aren't doing anything right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly. It kind of, there is never a perfect moment for something like this to happen, but if there was ever a perfect opportunity in the eyes of the NFL, this is what it is. Whereas they already did the combine, so they don't have the worry of, oh my gosh, can't evaluate the players. Because now they could essentially, if they wanted to, just draft from home. So they can still proceed with that. And then they basically don't have to do anything. Yeah, rookie camps and mini camps and stuff would probably be postponed.
Until the draft in April.
Exactly.
That's the big thing. Like, they've canceled the owners' meeting, but which I get. But, like, they're not going to tell people to stop working because...
Of course, right.
I mean, there already isn't much for them to do. Like,
Exactly. And we don't really play... We don't play serious football until the Hall of Fame game at the beginning of August. So, and the way things are looking, when the NBA announced that they were postponing this, they were suspending the season, they said that they could look into, when they come back, having the NBA Finals in August. So if by the time that the NBA is playing in the finals, that means that they've gone through, maybe they just cancel the rest of the regular season games and just go straight to the playoffs. They go into the playoffs, all of that stuff. Who knows? So there's not a real issue in terms of the NFL. I think what we got to talk about sincerely before we go into the other things is what you said earlier, how the NCAA has canceled, not postponed, not suspended, canceled all winter and spring sporting events at all levels, men and women. That's a big deal.
That's huge. And the thing is, your mind automatically goes to basketball because it's March Madness, and we're not going to have March Madness, and that's great.
I would argue we do have a March Madness, just not the type that
very different. March Madness took it to a whole other level this year.
God said, "Hold my beer."
Somebody told Mother Nature about cancel culture. She just took it to a whole another level. Everything's getting canceled.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Honestly, basketball, in my opinion, is the least effective of these sports because their regular seasons are over.
Exactly.
So like they've played. Baseball just started conference play.
I just want to say,
softball just started conference play. The Florida Gators gymnastics team, which is undefeated, will not get a chance to play for a postseason. Like they play for a national championship.
Right.
And I'm a little biased on that particular example, but there's a lot of sports that have just started their seasons, and they won't even get to play the rest of their season.
Yeah, there's tons of things that. It's like talking about how they suspended. Basically, I want to clarify myself and correct myself. I'm sorry. Canceled. Let's take baseball, for example, which is probably the most popular of the collegiate sports once March Madness ends before college football comes in. Baseball has Omaha and has the College World Series that is played in the end of June. Like, it's more of a summer sport than it is a spring. You know what I mean? It's an end of spring summer sport because the conference play starts
in the spring, so that's why it's called that.
Exactly.
Called that, but
exactly. And so, to have canceled without even
cancel?
Exactly, we're on the same page here, dude. To have canceled without waiting to see if things are going to happen. Now, I'm no doctor, I'm no working for the CDC or WHO, but there is a lot of feeling that this is something that, because so many people are going to get it, and because the majority of people are not going to be lethal. It's not going to be lethal for the majority of people, that the least we can do is just say we are suspending. I'm all for suspending and postponing. Why? Because it is better for us to be safer than it is. I've been telling my students all week, listen, we need to be proactive and not reactive. When you are proactive, you can prevent things. When you are reactive, you are scrambling to fix things, and that's always a problem.
You're always a step behind.
Exactly. But let's say that this, in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, let's say hopefully, this kind of comes down and it starts to go back a bit to normal. What are we not going to play a baseball season in May and June because
just because we missed a month?
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's my thing. I was like, I get it for March Madness and for basketball postseason because you're in the postseason, and that was all supposed to happen in the next 3 weeks.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, if for that, it's just I mean, I would have just suspended it and waited.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where, like, you know what? Just let's cut it, get it over with. But the rest of these sports, I'm like, you couldn't just tell them to wait.
Right.
Every athlete would wait.
Mm-hmm.
The whole sports world has been put on hold. It's not like you're behind or anything. Like,
Imagine playing probably 10, 12 to 15 of your regular season baseball games in a sport where you play about 50 to 60 games
50 to 60 if you play the most you can.
and losing a year of eligibility.
It's absolutely insane.
Right? Like that to me is the I don't know.
There are seniors in the Florida baseball team that
are national champions. That is correct. Yes, because the season today.
Okay. It's just like it's the final season for the McKeithen Stadium. At the
I
baseball.
didn't even think of that.
And they're moving to a new stadium.
We've already played our last game.
The final season of McKeithen Stadium had like 8 games in it.
So the final season at the MAC is over. Now, of course, listeners, this is a little bit biased.
It's March.
It's who we are. We're Florida Gator fans, and this is our association with the situation. But yeah, listen, I'm all for being preventative and being proactive, and I think they should have suspended. But for them to go out and say we've canceled it without waiting through, I don't know. I think that's a bit of an overreaction. Not an overreaction to the situation. I think it's an overreaction on the response to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Because I'm all for how fast they made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that it was a little bit too rash of a decision.
Right.
I'm like, what's wrong with saying you're just going to wait?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's all the entire country is going to be on your side. Like, yeah, just wait. Like,
yeah. We're all in the same corner.
Just to bring a little personal flair to it.
Yeah.
So at the end of April, have a flight scheduled
mm-hmm.
to go to New York to see some friends. And I'm live breaking news on the pod. I'm going to go see Hanson. I bought the ticket.
Nice.
So
excited.
Yeah, lucky. But people are like, "Are you still going to go?" And I'm like, "That is a month and a half away,
mm-hmm.
or about a month away at this point. So much has happened in the last 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I can't act like I should make a decision off of that. Like,
right.
At this point, you just have to wait.
So if we're going to bring in the personal decisions, I have a flight for Monday to go see my girlfriend to spend time in Boston over spring break. I'm still going to take the flight because as of today, right? As of today, I'm still planning on taking the flight. Today is Friday. The flight is on Monday. Today's
Thursday, but
this isn't because I'm not taking this.
Oh yeah, we're dropping this on a Friday.
Yeah, come on, Tyler, come on, man. This isn't because I'm not taking it seriously. This is because when I've done the research and looked through, I have found that I have just as much of a chance sitting here on my couch in my room podcasting with you than I do getting on a plane and going to Boston and spending time with my girlfriend. It's the same.
The only thing. That's the thing. From my understanding of it too is like, well, I live in Panama City right now.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a tourist town during spring break.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna pop up here.
It's gonna get y'all. Yeah, it's a matter of time.
That's the thing. I've talked to a lot of people about it. Like, there's only so much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be aware of the symptoms so you know. Like, keep a lookout for it. Know when you get it. Don't expose yourself
wash your hands.
Unnecessarily.
Wash your hands. You nasty.
Wash your damn hands.
Soap and water.
But beyond all that, like, what else can you do? It's an airborne disease.
And this is why we're bringing this in and we're talking about this on Sideline Judgment, because it's a matter of what are you going to do, right? In the sports world, we talk about how we want to do, we talk about how we want the player's best interests at heart, and we want this to be an inclusive, whatever sport it is, inclusive, and enjoy it and make sure people understand how much we love it and stuff and how much we care. And the reason that we're so not torn, but we are, I feel like what we just talked about for the past 5 minutes may be misconstrued. And I just want to clarify that us disagreeing with canceling the spring sports is different than not taking this seriously. Like, we are taking it seriously. We want to clarify that Tyler and I think I speak for us both, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we are in favor of suspension and being proactive and making sure that everything is Just taking the extra precaution to make sure everything is
absolutely.
good. We are not in favor of the over the top.
Don't make a rash decision.
Exactly. Don't make a rash decision.
Make a decision, but like there's nothing wrong with waiting.
And if in 2 months,
until you know what happens.
Exactly. And if in 2 months it's like, okay, yeah, we got to cancel. We got to cancel. It is what it is. Safety comes first. You know?
Yeah.
I do find it interesting.
It's like, why are you canceling college baseball season whose championship is in freaking June?
Right.
Like, yeah, we've beat that over, but
we already beat it over. Exactly. Now,
like to just demonstrate the severity of this, because we haven't talked about this. The SEC suspended recruiting. They didn't cancel, but they suspended recruiting.
Recruiting.
You realize how big that is for us down here?
You know what I want to see? I need a camera.
What?
I need a camera of whoever told Coach O. I want to see Coach O's reaction.
All of these coaches. The only thing I have guaranteed is that Mike Leach was like, "Oh hell yeah."
Mike Leach is like, "I'm already in the Keys."
I'm quarantining in the Keys.
I hope Greg.
I feel like Starkville, Mississippi is probably one of the safest places you can be. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Might be. I feel like Greg Sankey had to call them all 14 coaches one by one. Like, all right, who's up first? Really? We're gonna do Nick Saban first? All right, get the big one out of the way. Here we go.
He picks it up. It's just like, Coach Saban, we're suspending recruiting. Hang up.
And then
doesn't even wait for the response.
All right, Gus Malzahn's next, and then he keeps going. Oh man, no, but yeah, the SEC suspended recruiting. I want you to know there's no bags being dropped. Bag dropping has been suspended, Tyler.
I just can't
I can't fathom it.
That's truly, to tell anyone, like, that is the severity of this. Is that the SEC will not allow its conference to recruit people.
So Tyler, because we are junkies and we are Dave Chappelle meme, got any more of them sports right now? What should a sports fan do in this meeting? Because the NBA recently, Woj tweeted that Adam Silver said that it would be at least 30 days for the NBA. We know that the college sports are canceled, so we're not even going to see any of that. The NFL is not in season, so I guess the draft is the only thing coming.
We're going to see it anyway.
We're going to see it anyway. XFL, may our firstborn child rest in peace. Baseball was about to start and has been postponed. Opening day, which is in 2 weeks, was postponed at least 2 weeks, so that's a full month. We got about 3 to 4 weeks of just sports not happening.
I'll tell you who's happy about the season being postponed.
Who?
The Houston Astros.
I saw on Twitter when people were like literally yesterday. That's the thing. Like, this thing has moved so fast. Yesterday, the news cycle has just been snapping away. Yesterday, when it was just rumored that they're gonna play behind closed doors, people were saying that like it's one of those memes. It's the guy dropping something into the bay and then like clapping his hands like he's clean. And it's like the Astros players after sending out coronavirus so that they have to play behind closed doors and they won't get booed. Listeners, I also want to say we're joking about this. We want to say thank you to Twitter because this is very serious. But in a super stressful time like this, you need to let some jokes fly.
Keep it breezy.
Light. Keep it breezy.
Hey man, give like again another Twitter great moment. Give Rudy Gobert Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh yeah.
Shut the whole league down.
Oh, we're gonna go into some tweets we shared at the end of this. Don't you worry.
Oh boy, don't worry.
Tyler, what should we do as sports fans in this next three to 4 weeks?
I mean, one, spend time with your family.
Yeah.
Or maybe don't.
Depends on I know I will be spending time with my family, loved ones.
I'm in a different city. I'm not traveling to go see my family. Right. And my family was supposed to come visit me. I don't think that's happening.
You're like Magic Johnson. I'm not gonna be there.
I'm not gonna be there. No. Spend time with people you love. Find a new hobby. But I mean, I know that I be doing some writing, catching up on shows because I'm bad about that. But I think for sports related, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to accelerate some of my off season, like I would say film study, where like I start to like now I'm going to probably start thinking about all the other sports that I care about a lot more early because I'd be like, well, there's nothing to watch, so now I just have to think about like watch old games, see like So who is really on Oregon like for next year? Like who like maybe I'll dive. I'm the NFL draft so far is still happening, so like
Yeah,
I'll probably
nothing.
dive into draft.
The only change that the NFL has made is just canceling the owners' meeting at the end of March. That's it. Nothing else is. And they have said out loud, they have released statements saying we are planning. Everything is going to go as scheduled. Um, who knows if this thing escalates more? Hopefully not. We hope that this may be the peak. I hope. I don't think it will be, but I hope. Um, we'll see what happens there. I like that idea of starting your film study and starting your
Yeah, I mean, like you still
off-season.
do sports. It's just like start thinking about the off season a little bit more because you don't know if these seasons are going to come back. You don't
Yeah.
know. You don't know when. I mean, if you want to do strictly sports, I mean, I know that for
Right.
me, like I'm gonna catch up on some TV. I do a lot of writing, so I'm probably gonna do a lot of writing. So
I know that
I don't know.
I think, and one of my suggestions is if you do not, and this is not a paid advertisement, even though it should be. If you are someone who enjoys to read sports media, as Tyler and I do, I have a subscription to The Athletic, and it's a phenomenal resource. Not only will it give you,
It's awesome.
I read it every single day. I read it every single day on my phone. The app is super great. I would invest in an Athletic subscription. There's a great series on there where it was 100 days leading up to opening day, which I guess now has been changed. But 100 days leading up to opening day, where I forget the author and I forget the journalist, and I slipped my mind, and I'm sorry. This is why they don't pay us for these ads. He's been writing a profile on the top 100 baseball players of all time each day up until opening day. So there's tons of
extra room in that list.
There's tons of stories and tons of things, and they do a really good job. So I would recommend that. Also, I know I'm going to fire up the Xbox and try to maybe advance 2 or 3 seasons on NCAA 14. Right
There
now,
you go. That's a good one right there.
I'm the head coach of Wyoming right now. It's going to be my first year.
Ooh, see, I just recently in my we for the listeners, we've started NCAA football dynasty, so we both started at Hawaii.
Yes.
To see where
we go. To see where we
end
up.
up. I went from being the Hawaii offensive coordinator to the Louisiana Lafayette offensive coordinator to now the Ohio State Buckeyes offensive coordinator.
Nice. See,
So,
I went
I'm going to be itching for a head coaching job. So
nice. I went from Hawaii offensive coordinator to Colorado State offensive coordinator to USC offensive coordinator, and then head coach at Wyoming.
Nice.
That was my trajectory.
It's your own little Josh Allen.
I'm slowly trying to get myself out east. The goal is to end up at Florida and win a natty at Florida as the head coach. That's the goal. So
yeah, I agree. That's my goal as well.
That's our.
I've been all over the country because I went from Hawaii to Louisiana
I know,
to
you're
Ohio.
going,
so
you're
like,
trekking. I'm just making
I'm
my
national,
way.
baby. I am national.
I got a great West Coast recruiting footprint. That's what I got. All right, Tyler. I guess this is it. We just really wanted to
Sports
make this.
is canceled, so what are we going to talk about
today? What are we talking about? Our plan was to go in depth on our individual teams, but Mother Nature said, no, chill. So I guess there's not much else to.
I'll do this a little too fast. So.
Moving too fast. I guess there's not much else to talk about. Tyler, anything else you want to talk about this coronavirus stuff and its effect with sports? And
I mean, there's a lot of wait and see. There's a possibility by the time that this comes out tomorrow and you listen to it, it will already be outdated information.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's a high possibility. Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind. We're recording this on a Thursday night, coming out Friday. So don't roast us for things that we.
Don't hold us accountable. Which is ironic because we were supposed to record yesterday, and if we recorded yesterday, we would have missed all of these.
All of this.
You would have been listening, been like,
I probably would not have even released the episode.
No, of course. We would have held on to it. We would have. You were like, why are they talking? Why is Sergio talking about 4 different edge rushers for the Dolphins? Like, I get it.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, for sports wise, it's just like the only sports that haven't canceled per se yet are golf and NASCAR. But
there's serious concern. Well, the Players Championship is playing behind closed doors, even though So I was watching a South American soccer game before we got on the call, and I was telling you off air, Tyler, that the game is being played behind closed doors without fans, and it is fascinating to me. I love that. It's in the worst circumstances, but I love when that
So
happens.
interesting to see,
Especially on television, because you can hear everything. Like, these players are yelling at each other. I can hear everything they're saying. And it was going to be really interesting to watch March Madness games, high-level competitive basketball, right? The
yeah.
most competitive form of college basketball. It was going to be fascinating to see how these players reacted. Like, could you imagine like an Elite Eight game that's a 3-point game between Kentucky and Louisville, and it goes down to the wire, but there's no fans in the building, and you can hear Kentucky
So
and Louisville
yeah,
players.
it's like scrimmaging.
I
Like,
know. Well, the NBA, I think Donovan Mitchell, before he ended up getting coronavirus via Rudy Gobert, he said that it was going to be interesting that you were going to be able to hear players trash talking more in the NBA because there's no fans there. Like, why are you going to watch your mouth? You know?
I'm just waiting for. I was really fascinated about seeing the coaches cursing.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause there was going to be so many coaches fines. Because even if they did, like, you probably couldn't hear them during regular games because they're not mic'd up. Like,
Of course not. No. But it's a thing
and
where none of these people are mic'd up. It's just the natural microphone's just going to pick it up. You know?
yeah,
So I was
I was
fascinated by that. Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, I hope that one day we play a tournament like that behind closed doors, not for reasons of health and safety. Like, I hope it's just like, you know what, you teams are in trouble. You're gonna have to play without. We're gonna punish you where you don't get any fans at the thing. And I'd be the first. I'd DVR that thing. I'd be like, I'm there. Let's watch.
How's it going to work?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So there's
absolutely.
that situation. Okay, before we do tweets we share and finish off the episode, on a scale of I love you, brother, mistakes happen, hug it out, to I'm going to fight this guy in the locker room, how mad is Donovan Mitchell at Rudy Gobert?
Oh, this is interesting. I don't see. I would say if it were for the fact that the entire Utah Jazz roster was tested, and Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert are the only two.
Right.
That,
Thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully, but they're the only two that have been shown to have it, and because Rudy Gobert was careless and touched them all over and everything.
Okay, let's say it right now. Rudy Gobert was irresponsible, and that was just an inappropriate, and he needs to be punished in some way or form for it.
Yeah.
He released a statement on Twitter today apologizing, and I understand he didn't understand the blah, blah, blah. But you are a grown man, a professional athlete, and your employer, the Utah Jazz, are taking precautions for this, and you're not even taking it seriously. It was released today that Dan Snyder, and I'm sorry, last thing before you can go on, I'm so sorry, Tyler.
No, go ahead.
That Dan Snyder said that the players were made keenly aware of the situation, that they even brought in a doctor to talk to the team about the importance and why this virus is so specific. So even after all that, Rudy Gobert was like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm going to touch every microphone. Smoking French cigarettes, whatever. That was my French person impersonation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great for him.
Not a good look.
Not great, Rudy.
Not a good look for Rudy.
Not great look. But, I mean, on a scale, I think he's just I don't know. How do I say this? I think he's going to fight him on sight, but he's just don't talk to me.
So I have a hot take. Are you ready?
Oh, go ahead.
Let's enter the hot take cycle. Here we go. Rudy Gobert has played his last game as a Utah Jazz member.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Okay.
I thought you were about to say his last game in the NBA, and I was like, whoa.
Okay, so originally I
Teams
thought
are
that.
desperate.
Originally I thought that, and then I realized the New York Knicks exist. So there you go.
Just so you really mean that 29 there's not a single one of the other 29 teams will be desperate enough to take him once he's healthy.
And we joke about Defensive Player of the Year, but he was Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago. So actually,
no, he probably has. It's not excusable. It's inexcusable what he did. And I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to look at it that way because these are athletes in the prime of their life, who are millionaires and will be able if they need to get the proper treatment, they will be able to get it.
I mean, they're getting it now.
I mean, that's it's Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson were said that they contracted coronavirus. And I sat there and I heard about this and I'm in my head I'm intellectually I really feel that Tom Hanks is fine. He's got enough money to deal with it if it becomes a thing.
Yeah. But we also do have to realize that Tom Hanks is in his 60s and is diabetic, and Rita is a breast cancer survivor. Like, they are
these are factors to take in.
These are the people that we are concerned about, right?
Yeah. Which is, I have to be honest, that one of the it's a terrible thing. I don't want this to be misconstrued when I say it, but it is truly a good thing that this virus is not targeting kids.
Yes, very.
I would have hated that.
Listen,
I hate that it's targeting anybody. But
as a teacher who's had quite an emotional week at work with my students, the last thing that I want is for. Listen, I don't have kids of my own yet, but right now these are my kids, and I care for them. And the last thing that I want is my kids or any kids of those kind of age to be targeted by something that they can't defend themselves from. You know?
Yeah.
So thank God.
Trying to stop a virus is like trying to stop the wind. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah. It's a silent killer.
That's why the only methods of defense, again, not a doctor, the only methods of defense we have against these things are vaccines.
Yeah.
We make people immune to them.
Yep.
And I have confidence in science to be able to figure that out eventually.
Hopefully.
But
yes,
it's going to take time, and then even when they get it, it needs to be distributed.
Yeah, properly.
And who knows what happens at that point. But I think the best thing that we can leave people with also is, before we go into tweets you shared, is that, like, stay informed, stay calm, be proactive. Don't just be panicking willy-nilly.
Yeah. And that's what I've been telling my students. Proactive, not reactive. That's the mantra I'm trying to instill. Proactive, not reactive. It's funny. I didn't know that second and third graders would understand what proactive and reactive was, but I sat them down and I explained it, and they all now know proactive, not reactive. So I'm doing my job. I like to see. So that's good.
Look at you.
Look at me. All right, Tyler. Let's go into our flagship segment, tweets we've shared. Before we go into that, I mean, if you have a bag, since the recruiting has been put on pause, if you have a bag, typically we would definitely accept your bag. But for this moment now, I think it would be appropriate for us to deflect our bag drops to maybe some people that need it. So if you can find a way to find an organization that is maybe helping with finding a cure for this virus, for helping maybe families that don't have the financial means, if they are being quarantined, to go to work, please, we
know a lot of people also who work in event business.
Yeah. And they just can't go to work.
They can't go to work. Yeah. So, I mean, just think of that. And
so this may be the one time that we refuse to accept your drop bag. Please send it to organizations like that.
Don't think we won't accept it in the future.
Oh yeah, once we get the green light and we're all clear, bag dropping will resume as scheduled. But for now, please drop those bags to people who need someone who needs it, not us right now. So, that's that on that. Tyler, I don't even want to limit us to one tweet. I think we should just go through.
Just riff. Let's go off and.
Let's go one each. So why don't you start and then I'll start after.
Perfect. I was going to ask to start. You sent me a tweet by Andrew Kuo that said new ticket revenue from March Madness is fine because the experience the NCAA gets from having a tournament is payment enough. And
my chest.
Ooh.
You just love to see it, Tyler. You love.
Oh, that's just so interesting, NCAA.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I get why the NCAA just canceled and quit on the season. Like, there's no transfer portal in real life. They can't just transfer their seasons to other times.
Oof. Keep them coming. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, man. All right, here's one from you. You ready?
Yep.
This one's from @Steve Miller. Steve Miller says, we need Drake to wear a coronavirus jersey. It's the only way. For those of you who don't know, just Google Drake jersey curse, and you'll be set.
They'll explain everything you need to know.
You will be set.
I mean, yeah.
All right, you're up.
Here's one. One from Bleacher Report is the Big East tournament was canceled at halftime of a game. Like I don't forget what teams it was, but they went to halftime,
and they never came out.
Can you imagine being a fan in the arena for that? They're like, oh yes, the game has been canceled due to coronavirus, which my immediate thought was just like, would be like, where is it? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
am I infected?
like we can locate it, Like
Like,
we can't see
the
it.
immediate reaction is just like, so, because you're not aware of like the world
Not at
and like
all.
what else is happening outside. You're just like, shit, am I at like ground zero? Like, or a deadly disease?
Oh
But
man.
can you imagine?
All right.
Well,
So
you only get half a refund.
I'd be pissed. Well, because okay,
No lie.
so little known secret. When you're doing outdoor theater,
Mm-hmm.
if it starts to rain and you get through the first act, you don't have to give out refunds for your tickets. Or I'm sorry, if you don't get through the first act, you have to issue refunds. If you get to intermission, you don't have to issue refunds. So a lot of companies will say, "Hey, rain pace," meaning pick up the pace and get to intermission.
To intermission.
So that we don't have to offer refunds in case we have to stop the show.
Diabolical.
That's what we call capitalism. All right, here's one. You ready?
All right.
It's by @David Gardner. David Gardner, I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but I needed to say the whole thing. Yeah, David Gardner says, I mean, you got to give Rudy Gobert Defensive Player of the Year. He shut the whole league down.
Quite literally. Like,
just incredible.
Adam Silver, do it. Just give it to him.
Just do it. Right now.
For the joke. All right, here's one. It's oof. It's a tweet by Elijah. It's a picture of Common rapping. And in all caps says, he has coronavirus and he don't care. Starting at center, it's Rudy Gobert.
This is because Common did the lineup introductions at the All-Star game in Chicago, and he rhymed everything, which was really impressive, but still, we're going to let them jokes fly. We're definitely going to let them jokes fly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm proud of us.
I am proud of us.
I'm proud of, like, it's a very serious thing, but humor is important.
Humor is very important. Okay, I'm going to read one out. This is one that I sent to you. I need to read this two section. It comes by the one and the only Roger Sherman from The Ringer. We love Roger Sherman. Roger Sherman says, hopefully all college students out there are playing under the standard contagion Pong rules. All water cups and drink out of your own beer. He then follows it up with this tweet. My hope is that you're doing this with an 18-pack of Corona cans and calling it Corona Pong. But I don't know, man. Kids these days have changed.
I'm here to say that kids these days would do exactly that.
I'm here to tell you that if this hit 3 years ago when we were in college, baby. Damn well we'd be doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, like, the beauty of youth.
The beauty of youth, exactly.
Yeah, it's just, oh
my.
That's amazing.
Tyler, you got another one?
I'm looking through, like, I'm trying to see. There's been a lot of content, but I mean, one of the big ones. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
No, I have one more, but go ahead. You go.
I just sent you a couple extra ones.
Oh
so.
My. Okay. Oh, okay. Look at you. All right.
I mean, one of my favorite ones is I actually said, but I said this already.
Say it.
Okay. Was just the just imagine being the person who's got to tell Saban he can't go on a recruiting trip.
Oh yeah, that was
Richard
from Richard Johnson, Gator Great.
And at first I was just like, oh, that's funny, and now I'm like, oh, it's real.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Okay, so all right, so here's one that I sent you. Hear me. It's by Jason Gay. @Jason Gay says, "Hear me out. Instead of no fans, just one fan for each team."
I love that.
And that to me is incredible. Could you imagine? And I sent this to you and I put the caption. I said, "Can we be a duo? Like, can sideline judgment be one fan?"
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, we're gonna be in there, and not only will we be the rowdies, but we'll like get in the huddle, and I'll be like, "All right, coach, what are we running?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coach, did you see that this guy can't shoot?
When do you think it would be most opportune for us to cheer in the play?
Yes. Like, Coach, when do you need our help?
What do you think will confuse the defense?
Exactly. Like, should we
we'll be silent the whole time, and then just at a random moment be like, "Whoa!" and at that moment, the point guard will take it.
I feel like I would take a history textbook and open to a random page and just start reading at the top of my lungs. The French Revolution began in the year.
We should do some drunk Shakespeare, just the two of us. 2-man show.
Oh man. All right, I don't have any more. Do you have any more? If not, we can kind of wrap this up.
Let's see. Yeah, the last one. I just sent this to you, but I just gotta say it.
Say it.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has announced that dogs cannot contract COVID-19 coronavirus.
Okay.
Dogs previously held in quarantine can now be released. To be clear, who let the dogs out? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu.
Alexa sent me that tweet earlier today,
She did.
and I gave her the same reaction that you gave. Can I give a couple? Can I give a couple more? I know.
Now, we just got to make sure that all the Baja men are not.
Are they okay?
Are they okay?
Save them. Protect them.
Quarantine.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This comes from Leon at LC_623. Leon says, somebody said Spirit Airlines is about to do a 4 for 4.
I saw a friend on their Instagram story. My friend Callie was like, got an email from I think like some airline. It's like there's never been a better time to fly, and she's like, yeah, there's literally never been a better time to fly.
So one of my close friends got round trip tickets from Palm Beach to Atlanta for $60.
I feel like I need to.
I have paid more for a bus ticket from Gainesville to Fort Lauderdale. Not even kidding.
I feel like I bought my flight ticket at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm pretty sure if I went up to the airport on Monday at the same time as my flight and said, "Hey, can I get a ticket for this flight?" they would charge me half price.
Yeah, no.
Incredible.
Oh well.
Living up. All right, here we go. Can I just get some breaking news right as
I
we
just
end
saw
up?
it as well. Yeah, go ahead.
What did you see?
The U.S. soccer president.
Yes. So Carlos Cordero, who was elected U.S. soccer president. For those who don't know, there has been an ongoing for 2 to 3 years now battle between the U.S. Women's National Team and the U.S. Soccer Federation about equal pay. And it was revealed 2 or 3 days ago. And that's the thing. This has been such a crazy week that this story hasn't even come up.
How did I not hear about this?
Because it's been such a crazy week. 2 or 3 days ago, that released the documents of what USSF basically said were the grounds for not giving equal pay. And they explicitly said that men are more skillful than women, and women do not possess the genetic makeup to be as skillful as men. I'm going to call a whole lot of bull. I just want to say right now, Tyler, the official sideline judgment position on this is, oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no. Look,
we want to say that real quick.
It's an odd thing for to die on the genetics hill.
Really, like atrocious
Which
take.
is, not even correct.
But an atrocious take, my friend. But anyway, so that
at least we say we're not doctors.
At all. And that came out, and a bunch of players, both men's national team and women's national team, and former players and pundits and reporters, everyone, came out and said, yo, this is atrocious and blatantly sexist. And a few people said, we're going to please resign. You need to resign from this. He issued an apology earlier today, and we just got the Athletic notification, and I got the ESPN notification saying that Carlos Cordero is stepping down effective immediately after criticism of language used on behalf of the USSF, United States Soccer Federation, in a lawsuit filed by the U.S. Women's National Team. This is huge news, given that he was elected last year. This is big news for the soccer community. This is huge news for the North American soccer community.
Oh yeah, MLS, another sport that got canceled.
Yes, it did.
Well,
yes,
suspended.
It did.
Suspended.
That they suspended. They're actually mirroring what the NBA is doing, which I think is very intelligent. Nice. They said 30 days, just like the NBA said 30 days. So. Big breaking news at the end of the show. Tyler, anything else? This, ironically, is a short show for us, 45 minutes, but I can't believe we did 45 minutes on coronavirus.
I'm proud of us. I really did not know if we were going to be able to talk this much about it. We did.
I didn't think so, but look at us. Who would have thought? Look at us.
Not me.
Not me.
No, not I.
Not I.
No, I mean, it's just stay safe out there, everybody. Stay informed. This might already be outdated by the time you listen to it, but I'm glad that you like the sound of our voice.
Yeah. But what won't be outdated is the fact that we love sports. Sports is, I know what Tyler and I think about throughout most of each day of our lives, but nothing is more important than your safety, your health, and the health and safety of your family and your close loved ones. So please make sure that, remember, just as I've told my kids in school, lesson from a teacher, be proactive and not reactive. All right? All right. Tyler, without further ado, this has been yet another episode of Sideline Judgment. My name is Sergio.
My name is Tyler.
And we are not biased, but wash your damn hands.
Wash your hands.
You nasties.